So now we're going to take a look at an animation to sort of summarize the entire process. So here we have an enzyme, and then here is the active site of the enzyme. And what you're going to sort of see in a second, and I'm narrating or going over the narration, is that a substrate is going to come in and bind. Here are the substrates. There. Now what the enzyme does, it finds this one and finds them and brings them together in the active site, which is going to happen in a second. So here now is the enzyme substrate complex, with the substrates in the active site. The enzyme now is lower the activation energy by bringing these substrates together, and is going to turn the substrate into its product. But notice what happened to some extent is while that was happening, if we can go back a little bit, is that the enzyme, if you look here, the enzyme is slightly changing shape here. That's the induced fit model, to induce sort of the reactants or the substrates to turn into products, to make that process more stable, thus lowering the activation energy. By doing that, it's stressing or breaking key bonds or helping form key bonds, making it more energetically favorable to occur. So the enzyme slightly changes shape, and now you see the product is now formed. And what's going to happen here now is this enzyme is going to release the product and form its original shape. So here it will happen in a second as we wait. So here it releases the product, and now the enzyme goes back to its original shape. What's here now, though, is that this enzyme is now free to have more substrates come and do the reaction again and again and again and again and again and again and forever, essentially, until either, well, there are two sort of things that can happen to stop an enzyme, which we're actually going to discuss on Wednesday next week. But if we go back to the PowerPoint, which I put into Smartboard software, some key points from the animation. One key point, and I am not going to write these, I'd like you to write what I say, so you may need to pause the video. One key point is that the enzyme sort of chemically fits the substrate. And that's how the substrate fits into the active site. Secondly is that the enzyme slightly changes shape when the substrates bind to lower the activation energy and allow the reaction to occur faster. It better fits the product almost, so that it causes the substrate changes shape and causes the formation of product. But it's not the lock and key model. Okay, under the lock and key model, it says the enzyme never changes shape. When the substrate binds, the enzyme slightly changes shape, stressing bonds, allowing for the product to form. And the third key point is that after the reaction is done, the enzyme releases the substrate, releases the product, the product, and then goes back to its original shape and is ready to catalyze more reactions. You should have, at this point, written those three things down. If you have not, you need to go back, rewind the video, and write them down. Again, this is sort of a skill, and sort of in college, your professor will not write everything on the board. So you should have written those three things down onto this slide. Last, and we're going to talk about this on Wednesday, you don't want enzymes working all the time. Sometimes you don't want certain reactions occurring in your body. You want to stop the reaction, and there are ways that enzymes can be stopped. Again, they can be used over and over again, so if they're there, they're going to be doing the reaction. So there are ways to stop the enzyme from working. On Wednesday, we're going to be talking about those things and doing a little activity with those. But, as for now, the two things you have to do for homework are to answer the guided questions attached to this PowerPoint, and then watch the other video, which I didn't make, but it's a beautiful video with a nice British man, about factors that affect enzyme action, and then answer the three questions that are on that paper. So the guided questions from this video, and then the other paper, which has 3 questions and a video about factors that affect enzyme action. And then we will talk on Wednesday, and I will have your quizzes graded and your homework graded, and we shall sort of see where everyone stands. But enjoy. Hopefully you're joining your Labor Day weekend, and hopefully it didn't rain too much. But I'll see you guys on Wednesday.